So when we think about all of the different types of changes, culture change is potentially one of the most complex because it is really oriented around how are you changing the ways in which people behave and show up and work, right? So when we define culture change, we define it as the pattern of behaviors reinforced by people and systems over time. And if we deconstruct that definition, every single word in there is really important to the way that we think about how we can change culture and how we can create new cultures, right? So the pattern of behaviors, the way that we show up, the leadership behaviors, the ways that we work together, these are all elements that need to become part of a habit. Things that need to be repeated over and over and over before they really stick and become sort of the way we do things, right? So you can't just do things once and expect for that to drive change, especially culture change. You really need to be able to do things over and over and over. The second part is that it's reinforced by people and systems, right? So it's reinforced by our people. If changes that we want to see are being made, we can't just let them linger in the background. They have to be made visible. They have to be reinforced by our people, celebrated, communicated. That goes for the things that we want to have stick in our culture. It also goes for the things that we want to remind people that we might want to shift about our culture. So it's really being able to call out and celebrate the progress that we're making and the changes that we're making in our behaviors. The other piece is those systems. So if you've got systems in place that have been in place for a long time, whether they be, performance management, your incentive structure, the way you set your goals for your organization, the way you report out on your results, all of these aspects are pieces of your system that can really reinforce what it is about the way that you work. And most of these have been set up and designed in sort of the pre-culture change moment, right? They've been designed for your old culture. And if you keep them all the same, then they're going to continue to reinforce the old ways of working. So it's really critical to think about how do you audit? How do you constantly keep an eye on? How do you redesign some of the stuff that's already there? Design new ways of working so that all of those are going to help move you forward. Because the reality is culture's a really, really strong pull, and all of those systems can pull you back over time if you don't have enough of the momentum to keep you going forward. And then that other piece is over time, right? So culture change just doesn't happen overnight. I think we all instinctively know that, but it doesn't get rid of our impatience for culture to change. We want things to happen fast and we want things to happen now. Culture takes time to change. And so it's not just about having the patterns of the behaviors and creating those habits and making things happen over and over. It's not just about reorganizing and redesigning your systems. It's about making sure that you know you've got to keep the momentum going and you've got to have the stamina so that the culture really, really sticks and is embedded. And that's really what we think about when we think about culture change, is all of those words within that definition, because each of those are potential failure points. They're potential points of getting drawn back into the old ways of doing business and the old ways of working. So if you'd like to learn more, please feel free to click the link or reach out to us with any questions.